remember I was 12 years old. Wow. And I was going to this Catholic school, and I got sent home for pissing in my desk. Obviously a popular pastime, right? And the sisters told my mother that I needed psychiatric attention. And so my mother, the only people that were more scared of the nuns than the kids was the parents, you know? Like I remember my old man and my old lady, they were terrified of them sisters. So downtown they take me to this doc, and I'm sitting down there on the couch, and he says, "Son, how'd you get this way?" And I thought about it, and I said, "Doc, I'm glad you asked, because up till now, I've kept it a secret. But the fact was, I was a teenage werewolf." I said, "Doc, I was standing out on the street. I remember it was midnight. I looked up. It was a full moon. Felt this hair growing all over my face. Felt my fingers get longer and my nails pop out, and a guitar pop out on my left side. My pants got tighter, my hair got longer, and a man with a cigar come up and stung me on the ass. And all of a sudden, in one moment, I looked up and there was this light. And for just 1 second, I stood stone-like at midnight, suspended in my masquerade. I combed my hair that was just right and commanded the night brigade. Hey! Open the plane and crossfire ring. I walked on a crooked crutch. I strode all along to a far-out song. Came out with my soul out of touch. Yeah, in the cloud and wrath of the crowd. When they said sit down, I stood up. Growing up. With a flag of privacy flew from my mask. My sails were set wing to wing. Well, I had a jukebox graduate for a first mate. She couldn't sail, but she sure could sing. Why push me 52 by the winter blues with my gear set stubborn on steady? I fell for the rules straight from my old high school. Never once gave thought to land. In the cloud and wrath of the crowd. When they said come down, I threw up. And I remember it was years later. I grew up. I came home from high school one day. The old man sitting at the kitchen table with the old lady. And they're looking pretty serious. I said, "Son, sit down, please." So I knew I was in trouble as they called me son. The other stuff they used to call me can't say over the radio. But so Anyway, I sit down. And my mother, she does the talking. She's Italian, right? She says, it's time. We decided, me and your father, we decided you gotta stop fooling around with yourself. How'd they know what I was doing in my room at night? They said, you gotta get serious. It's like, they said, it's time that you put that guitar down. That thing's okay for a hobby, but you're never gonna get any place with that. And my father said, you should be a lawyer because lawyers, they own the world. And my mother, she said, you should be an author, you should write books. So, but we decided this is too big a decision. What you gotta do, you gotta go over to the rectory, you gotta talk to Father Ray about your vocation. We set up an appointment, you gotta go over there in an hour. Because that was the thing I used to have to do in those days. So I go over to the rectory. Oh, before I went over there, my father says, now when you go talk to the priest, you tell him you want to be a lawyer. You tell him you want to be an author. But don't you tell him nothing about that goddamn guitar. I said, okay. I go over to the priest's house. I ring on the doorbell. Father Ray, this is Mr. Springsteen's son. I come to talk to you about my vocation. So he comes out, and we start walking around the church. And the priests in those days, they all had like the illusions of the bells of St. Mary. They've seen that movie too many times or something. They're all doing Patrick O'Brien. Is that his name? Pat O'Brien imitations. And like, we talked for a while, and he says, listen, I decided that this decision is too big for me to make. What you gotta do, you gotta go direct to God. You gotta talk to God about this. Now you tell him you wanna be a lawyer. You tell him you wanna be an author. But don't tell him nothing about being, what? An interior decorator? That's you. But don't you tell him nothing about that goddamn guitar. I said, okay. So I figured I gotta go see God. Now all I had to go see him in was my mother's Rambler. It was all beat up, all smashed up, paint scraped off the side. So I drive over to Clarence's house. I said, Clarence, I got the word, I gotta go see God tonight. He said, but you can't go in that car. I said, what do you mean I can't go in? It's the only car I got. He says, nah, look at things ugly as hell. It's like, you think he's gonna see you in that car? There's gonna be guys up there with Monte Carlos, Lincolns, Continentals. You think he's gonna notice you? So I said, okay. So I went down to Earl Scheib. At the time it was $39.95. I went by the other day, I seen an Earl since up to $10. But anyway, he does the car, midnight blue. I leave the windows down, he does the interior for free. If I had my brother in the back seat, he'd have done him free of charge too. Anyway, me and Clarence, we drive out to see God. Clarence says he knows where he is. So we get out there, and I don't see nothing but this dark hill next to this cemetery. I say, Clarence, are you sure he's up there? You sure it ain't? You sure it ain't? You sure it ain't the other guy? This is the right place? And while I'm up there, what? Ask him about the tape player that somebody stole out of your room. So I had these two big questions I had to ask about Clarence's tape player and what I'm gonna do with my life. So up the hill I go, and it's dark and it's scary and all these noises coming out of the woods. And when I got to the top, I realized that the place was packed. There was people all over the place. I'm walking around, I bump into Kid Leo. Oh, Kid, what are you doing? He says, praying for more watts. I gotta blast this baby all the way to New Jersey. Crazy man up there. So I find myself a quiet place, I kneel down. I say, God, my father wants me to be a lawyer, my mother wants me to be an author, but I got this guitar, you see? And all of a sudden, heard this thunder. Seen this lightning coming out of the sky. It was real quiet for a while. And then I heard just 3 words. Let it rock! Took one long vacations in the stratosphere. You know it's really hard to hold your breath. I swore I lost everything I ever loved and feared. I was a cosmic kid. My feet, they finally took me to the earth. Got me a nice little place in the stars. I still have found the key to the universe. Built me a gem of an old park car. Right here on the cloud and waved to the crowd. When they said, sit down, I said, I want to do this next song for Joey and Jimmy, the Cleveland boys. These guys have been following me around for about 3 years. And get off my back, will you? Huh? This is for them because I love them so much. Roy.